Hi, everyone. Wait, what is happening here? Okay. Hi, everyone. Come on in. Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
There she is.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi. Hello. Hi, everyone. Good morning. Good morning from Sherman Oaks. Good evening from the UK.
Good everything.
Did everything. It's day. It's Friday. That's all that matters. All right. Okay. Oh, there's Carol. David. Oh, there's
My connection is unstable. What do you think I'm going to?
na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. All right, I'm gonna make Sarah boss. Sarah's gonna be boss. You're now boss, Sarah.
I like being.
Do you like being boss?
I do.
You should be the boss. Be the boss. Please be the boss. Hi, everyone. Okay. So I've got a lot to cover today. So I just want to say that I'm really hoping that that if you can join me tomorrow, which is 3 p.m. Eastern time on this channel, we'll send out the reminder when we send out the recording, 8 p.m. UK time, 12 p.m. LA time. I would love that you are here because we can actually spend an hour together. And there's a few people I want to work with today, if I get a chance to, a little bit on their brand. And I made notes of those people. And so if I, it's a good chance to work on your pitch, which we're going to talk about right now, and your brand with me for just like an hour of private time tomorrow. So if you can make it tomorrow for a little catch up to the challenge, because I've really hit you heavy this week with a lot of stuff. And what I want to say about that is that building a business or changing something in your business is a process. And I'm feeling that for myself right now, because I've made a lot of changes in my business. And it's been like literally the longest week of my life. And it feels like it, probably not. Probably it was longer the week my dad died, but it feels like a very long week and I'm really tired and I'm emotional, someone said to me one time, like, build a better business, build a better you. And see, here I go. And when you're an actor, there's so many things at play here. First of all, we're neurodivergent people. A lot of us are ADHD or manic depressive or, very emotional and sensitive people. That's the first thing that we have going for us, which isn't always a good thing. The second thing we have going for us is that a lot of people feel like they can treat us like shit, right? And that's been forever. I mean, in Shakespeare's days, we were the prostitutes and the robbers and all of that kind of people. And we haven't really come too far from that. And then we were owned by studios. And now we're owned by Spotlight and Actors Access and systems that keep us out of play. And, you know, and I think that like people feel like they can talk down to us, that it's okay to talk down to us. And I'm very protective of that, you know, and so, you know, I've had a lot of triggers as well this week, as long as like making changes in my business. And I'm saying all this to just say that it's not fucking easy to be an actor. It's not easy to have this business. That's the truth. But it's not easy to just really actually be alive and live a life, you know? I mean, to really live the life that you want to live, it's hard, right? And you can have shitty days where you don't feel great. And the thing is, like, you know, the good news is that there's more work than there's ever been. But our business is at an incredible shift, right? So, who's ever not muted? So check this out. I asked Sophie Holland why she chose a different path in her casting career. This is what Sophie Holland said. I couldn't get into the room to audition. No one would see me. I closed shop initially. So why? I'm hoping to help change that a bit. Right? So, and then for you guys that were here yesterday, we talked about how all of a sudden this big casting office is charging to put people on tape, which is double dipping, right? Well, yesterday, if you guys read Deadline, and you all should be reading Deadline every day, wherever you live in the world, there was a huge article that a big fire broke out on Twitter yesterday with all these big celebrities calling these casting directors on the table and saying, you're going to charge us now to audition? No. Right. And of course, you know, Betty Mae Casting is coming back and saying, we're not going to charge you if you're auditioning for us. And it's like, what you need to understand is that part of the business is crumbling. You know, my friend Tina Becker told me years ago, when you guys stop coming in the room, we won't have jobs anymore. And so because they're losing their jobs, and because we're going to see that more and more and more and more, there's going to be not nice behavior, and they're going to take it out on us. And I'm just telling you, that's what's coming. But there's more work than there's ever been. So I just want to give you the good news that there's more work than there's ever been. And don't get so caught up in all this branding stuff and freaked out that you need the branding stuff. Understand that I'm just trying to get you clear about what's your quickest path to cash, because no one buys everything. And if you try to be everything for everyone, you're not going to get very far in this business, right? People make a decision about you in about 5 seconds flat. And that's what we're seeing now, right? So anyway, I'm blue today. So I guess like, I don't mean to dump on you or anything, but I'm like feeling kind of like, and rather than trying to mask it and be someone that I'm not, I'm just being honest with you about what's going on, because I see a lot of things breaking down and I see change on the horizon. But I don't think it's bad news for us. I think it's good news for us. So I just wanted to share that with you today. What I'm going to do right now is I'm going to talk about pitch. And I'm going to be talking about the elements that are in a pitch. And I'm going to talk about that. And then I'm going to ask you as your assignment to put a pitch on video. Now, I want to be really clear. This can be a general pitch. So what would you use a general pitch for? Say that you were beginning your outreaches to your customers. directors, producers, writers, and casting directors. And remember what we talked about yesterday, that really the customers are producers and directors. Those are the people that are actually going to write the check, which makes them an official customer. But when in an Actors Fast Track, when we talk about customers, we're talking about everyone on the other side of the table that's involved in putting you in a project that you're going to get paid for to act in. And those people are casting directors, directors, producers, and writers. So say that you've never really spent a lot of time reaching out to those people. Maybe some of you have spent some time reaching out to casting directors. Maybe you've gone to casting workshops, whether they were like one-on-one, Next Level, or in London, Mixing Networks. Maybe you've gone to these places and you've done a few workshops. Maybe you've even done mailings or a newsletter or emails to casting directors. But most of you haven't really spent any time reaching out to directors, producers, or writers. So say that you're just starting down that path. One of the ways that you might want to start is by sending someone what we call a pitch video, which is just a general pitch, which is about you and not so much about them. But maybe you are going to reach out to someone specifically because you hear they're doing a project that's exactly right for you, and you're going to send a specific pitch. So really, when we're talking about pitching to customers, because that's what we're really talking about, later on before the summer, we will talk about pitching to agents and managers. That's different. But for the purpose of what we're talking about right now, we're talking about pitching to your customers. Okay, so you can do this by writing it out, by doing a video, by doing it on LinkedIn and setting up a Zoom meeting, like a Zoom coffee, by doing it in a newsletter or whatever. Like, so we want to write a pitch that is something that you can use that's general. But if you have someone that you want to pitch specifically, a customer, not an agent or a manager, but if someone you want to pitch specifically for a specific project, use this opportunity to build that pitch for the next week for that person or those group of people, right? If you're thinking about something specifically. If you're not, just work on building a general pitch, because generally, like when we work with our clients, sometimes it takes like, 4 or 5, 6, 7 tries at doing a pitch before they get one that really works for them, right? And so we're going to help you build a pitch. So the first one you're going to do is going to have these elements in it. They don't have to have all of these elements, but I'm going to give you the elements that they can have in them. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to demonstrate what they can have in them. They can have a sentence. So a lot of you guys wrote these sentences, right? And the sentences are just a way to start. Sometimes like you can use a couple of words or whatever, but I'm going to show you all the elements. Number one, they can have a branding sentence. Hi, my name is Valerie Hubbard. I'm the buoyant, ballsy broad who will take you through the funhouse. They could have that in it. So some sort of branding sentence or branding statement. They can have that in a pitch. They can have a log line. I tend to play the women that live across the street from you. When you see me coming, you turn off your lights and pretend like you're not home. You can say that in a lot of different ways. You can say, I recently played that crazy next door neighbor who every time she came around, that people would turn off their lights and pretend like you're not home. So you could say it like it's a character that I just played, right? So it's a log line. You can also have like a cross in there, like I'm a cross between Kathy Bates and Drew Barrymore. That's another one. So some sort of branding statement, some log line, some cross. These are all elements that can be in a pitch. Another element that can be in a pitch is your credits or your recent auditions. or your recent bookings. Those can be in your pitch. So, hey, everyone, I'm Valerie Hubbard. My credits include Castle, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., How I Met Your Mother, Resident Evil Extinction, True Blood, American Horror Story. I play that woman that lives across the street from you. When you see me coming, you turn off your lights and pretend like you're not home. Like I've auditioned this last year, seriously, for like 7 Karens. I'm the boy at Ballsy Broad who will take you to the fun house. I'm a cross between Kathy Bates and Drew Barrymore. So those are all those elements that can be in that. Another element that you could put in a pitch could be a funny story. Hey everyone, I'm Valerie Hubbard. I got into acting when I was 3 years old and I threw myself down the basement stairs like this, dramatically in a temper tantrum. My mother thought I was dead. She sent my dad down to the bottom of the stairs. I was laughing. The next day they enrolled me in creative dramatics and I've been there ever since. So you could have like a funny story. Funny stories are great because they bring your personality out. Okay. Now I'm giving you all these elements that can be in a pitch video, but you can literally be creative. You're an actor. You could be creative, right? Now, if I was pitching to a specific person, right? Like say that I was specifically pitching to Ava DuVernay because she's doing a story about Black Lives Matter and she needs a woman to play a racist white woman, right? And I would say, hey, Ava, I'm Valerie Hubbard. My credits include Castle, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., How I Met Your Mother, Resident Evil Extinction, True Blood, American Horror Story, many more. And alone this year, I've auditioned for 7 Karens. I can do a great Southern accent. And yeah, I played a lot of racists and slave owners. And I know I've got a lot of those in my future because you're going to make some amazing movies about Black Lives Matter and you need some crazy ass white women in there. So I would love to work with you. Below is my information and my agents will be in touch. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. Right? Something to that effect. Right? So I'm showing her, remember when you're talking to directors, producers, and writers, especially, you are telling them how you fit into the stories they're telling. Because every one of your customers is involved in storytelling. So you need to tell them how you fit in to their stories that you're telling, they're telling, right? And you need to back up why you do those, you know, like I played a lot of those characters, right? And so, right, you can look at my reel and you can see that. And I can also send specific clips that really back that up. That's why we don't always want to send a whole reel, you guys, because you don't want to cloud the issue. Like if I'm trying to pitch for a drama thing, I'm not going to send them my reel because like there's a shit ton of comedy on my reel. And, you know, I would rather just send them a clip that really matches what they're looking for, right? Like give them a clip of what they're looking for. So what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take a stab at any old kind of pitch. Now, here's the thing. I want to say something here because some people spend a lot of time on building their pitch and all that, and that's great, and I think you should. But the other thing is like your average customer needs to see you between 11 and 16 times before they're going to hire you. So one pitch video is not going to do it. And the reason I like pitch videos is because we're actors. So the more that we can demonstrate this, the better, right? So that's why I'd like you to do a video and do it. However, if you want to write a warm letter ever and like pitch yourself in the warm letter, you can certainly do that. You know, I've pitched myself to many people over the years in a warm letter, way before we had the opportunity to do pitch videos. So you can certainly do that. Okay, so that's the assignment. We're gonna send it out in a video tomorrow. And then, I mean, tonight, and then Saturday, tomorrow, we're doing catch up to the challenge at 3 p.m. Eastern time on this channel. You know, so say that you decide in the morning or tonight to try a pitch video and it sucks so bad that you're freaking out. I want you to post it anyway, because there's no judgment here. This is a judgment-free zone. I'm trying to help you. Like, I'm not trying to say, well, that sucked, right? I'm just trying to get you to edit, to understand what worked and what didn't work, and how you can be better at what you do. But like, you know, tomorrow is a chance for you to ask me more and more questions. All right, so I wanted to talk to David. David, are you here, David?
Yep.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so I did see that you ended up posting something, but I didn't get a chance to read it. But like, talk to me a little bit about your brand and what you think you're missing or maybe not missing.
So what I posted in the end was I'm your regular PTA dad who's very funny and has a dark secret. And then I wrote a very English thing, and Londoners will understand this next part. I wrote good to his mother. And over here, that means if you're good to your mother, it means you're a nasty fucker to everybody else, right? It's a bit of a euphemism. Good to his mother. Every English person who will understand what that is, I'd imagine. Good to his mother. So that's why I wrote that, because what I wanted to do, because I'm quite happy being a nice guy, because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah.
But what got me was, and you made the point, and I've actually tested this theory today with one of the biggest parking agents in the country, right, about your brand thing and about this whole thing. And she absolutely confirms what you say, by the way. It's a lady at an agency called Nina Gold, right? So you probably know who that is.
Oh yeah, I know Nina Gold.
Right. And I actually had a conversation with them today about it, and they absolutely validated all what you said, right? Absolutely validated it. So if no one else believed you before, they really should. But when I said, is it okay to be a nice guy? She said, yeah, be a nice guy, but have an edge, have an advantage, have a point of difference, right? And any business would have. And so she said, look, because what I've done before, I've done lots of nice guy roles and lots of nice guy bits of work. But every now and then I have one that was actually a heroin addict, right? Then I had one that was, he wasn't very nice behind whatever. It was a very nasty film. But there's always been, like, on the front of it, nice guy, happy, you know, doing it for anybody. But actually, underneath the surface, there's a sinister, cynical kind of rotter. Right?
Yeah, and you know what? And that's the guy. Like, as soon as you said that, I saw so many characters. I saw Falstaff, first of all. Like, I'm like, you would make a great Falstaff. But like, I also saw that, like, in Killing Eve. Did you watch Killing Eve?
Well, so my friend is Jodie Comer's makeup artist. So yeah, I did. Yeah.
So in Killing Eve, remember, like, all the staff that was working and they all got killed, that was working up there on that floor. And there was the guy that was the guy that was sort of the main guy.
Her handler.
And, you know, and I feel like you could play that guy that everyone feels like is really nice, but he's really embezzling from the company.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like as soon as you said that, I'm like, oh my God, I've seen this character in so many TV shows and movies. You know, this guy that's like really nice on the surface, and then you just found out this like awful thing about him.
Yeah. He actually a piece of shit.
Yeah. And we really have seen that, you know, I mean, you know, gone are the days of like the one-dimensional characters. We just don't even see those anymore.
Yeah.
And also because, you know, it's so much more fun to play those people, the conflicted people that or the, you know, the person that's like all nice and lovely on the surface, and then he goes home and kills himself, you know, and it's like, we didn't know he was thinking that. And then there's all this miserable underneath that we're just like, wow, you know. And so
Well, it's really interesting, Valerie, because the first assignment you gave us, right, talked about what was our dream, right?
Yeah.
I know what my dream was to develop, if you remember, it was develop the character. And it wasn't until I did this exercise, and then today it suddenly dawned on me, it's okay to be a regular nice guy on the front end. Just be something different on the back end, whatever that is, right? And actually, I can actually put the two together now. And I reckon I could do a pitch video now to say, nice guy till midnight.
Yeah, that's great. And you know, the thing I want you all to know about brand is that you're going to try different things out, and then something's going to really stick for you, right? Something's going to come to the surface and really go like, oh yeah, like I told you guys the story of like writing the sentence in 95 and then the client saying to me in 2018, you're the adorable bully. And I was like, okay, that only took like, you know, 27 years to like get that and figure that out. But that didn't stop me from working as an actor. It just informed me more as a product, as a company, right? Like, oh yeah, that's it. That's really what I've been doing since I was 16, you know, well, really since I was 3, but like since I was 16, I've been playing that adorable bully. Like, think about Puck. You know, Puck is the adorable bully. Think about Celia and As You Like It. She's the adorable bully.
Yeah,
Phoebe, adorable bully. Like, I'm like, I constantly have been cast as that over and over and over again in my long career, right? Like it's always there, right? And yeah, okay, good, David. I'm glad you're getting clear, and I'm looking forward to seeing your pitch video.
Oh yeah, it might not be right, it might be wrong, but it's the first version of exactly.
That's it. I want you guys to be willing to suck, right?
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Yeah, and that's it. Like, you know, I always hate when I have to tell a client, they send me a pitch video, you know, and I'm like, can you redo it? Because I feel like blah, 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 blah. But then like, if I keep asking them, then they show up. We have a client, Dijon, I don't think he's here, but Dijon like did this amazing pitch video. And all the clients were like, oh my God, that's so good. I'm like, yeah, that's like 50 pitch videos in, you guys. Not quite, but he did a lot of sucky ones until we got there. Yeah. Anna, who's right below you, Anna did a bunch of sucky pitch videos until she finally started to figure out, like, you know, I made Anna take off all her makeup, run around the house, because Anna was trying to be perfect in all of her pitch videos. She was trying to be like Little Miss Perfect. And I was like, no, Anna, you need to run around your house, do all these jumping jacks, do these push-ups, stand up and fucking start talking. Because, you know, that's like what Grotowski teaches us, and Peter Brook, and viewpoints, and through structure comes great freedom. And so sometimes we have to like, wah, and then go, you know, and like, because we have to let go of all the perfection, right? So I would rather have you on there sucking, and then, you know, and get it out.
Yeah.
You know, and even during the pitch video, you guys, if you mess up, keep the camera rolling, because it will help you, I think. All right. Thank you, David.
Thank you, Valerie.
Ilaria. I'm saying it like that. Ilaria. Hi. So let's talk a little bit about your brand. So I like this. What was the word that I said I liked? Yeah. So you really like selling I see that you really like selling the evil kind of bitchy, right?
Yes, I mean, like 70% of the things I've been cast in was like a killer that gets away with murder. That's how it was.
Okay, great. I love what you just said about 70% of the things I've been cast in are the killers that get away with murder, right? So that might be a really interesting line, the way you just said it,
Okay.
Um,
Can I
So
put it in the
basically-
pitch video then?
yeah, so basically, I'm not really nice in most of the roles I get cast in, but I'm really nice in person. But
Yeah, I know. I
you
mean,
know,
the
like
funny
you can
thing
do
is like,
something like that.
yeah, the funny thing is like my agent back in the day, she's like, oh, you can't be always cast the same thing. That is typecasting. That's bad for you. But from what I'm understanding from everything you've said, it's actually a good thing. It can land you jobs, right?
Yeah, because it's like if we go back to what the video that we were watching yesterday, it's like
Yeah.
what she's saying is that you should let them decide. But
Mm.
like, but so that means that, so what's your picture gonna say? Right? What your picture's
Yeah.
just gonna be a blank slate? And then you're gonna let them decide? I feel like that's like,
Mm.
that is like, that just doesn't make any sense business wise to me. Because, you know, because I've also worked with like literally 1,000 plus actors on their careers, and over again, the people that are specific, especially a young white girl, the people that are specific are the people that get hired the quickest, right? It's inevitable. That's the thing. It's like, because they've got to be able to put a handle on you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They've got to be able to. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have the nice smiley picture, because I have your card over here and you have some beautiful pictures, and it doesn't mean that you don't have the nice smiley picture for your commercial agents.
Yeah.
Right. But theatrically, then what happens is you start to get submitted for the stuff that you know you're going to kick ass on.
Yeah.
Right. That's the other thing, knowing the thing that you kick ass on. I mean, and here's the thing, like, the more you do it, like, people say to me all the time, well, I get auditions for stuff that is not really me. And it's like, that's your fault. Because I will tell you something, if you're clear, then your agents are clear. And then all of a sudden, all the auditions you get you can do.
Mhm.
And you never feel like, very rarely in the last 30 plus years have I gotten an audition where I'm like, that's not me. Now, there's been times where I felt like, oh, I'm scared of that because I didn't know that I had it in me to get there, but I can see why they submitted me on that.
Okay.
And that's the other part that doesn't make any sense about, again, what she said in her video. The part that didn't make any sense to me is casting directors actually write specific descriptions of what they're looking for.
Absolutely.
Agents think of their specific people that they want to submit for those specific roles. So there's a lot of branding going on for her to say there's no such thing as branding.
Mhm.
Right. And maybe it's the word that's bothering her. But I like that you want to go for that evil kind of woman. So I just wanted to clarify that. And
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you. I think it's Caro, Caro. Is that how I say your name? Are you here? I saw you here. Yeah, there you are. Oh, wait, but I can't hear you. Look at the bottom where it says Zoom and then see if you can, because you've got your earphones on.
How's that?
Oh, that's much better. Okay, so tell me, okay, now I'm seeing you. And so tell me what you wrote. Let me see if I can.
I wrote 7 different sentences.
Yeah.
I wrote, I am that fearsome, crazy Mediterranean grandmother whose
Yes.
bark is worse than her bite, who will lay down the law and then lay the table for you.
Yeah.
And I wrote, I'm the perky yet solid, dependable and subservient servant who will polish your silver, then steal it. I wrote, I'm the diminutive yet confident, resourceful, and surprisingly ruthless boss lady who will run your show or run off with your clients.
Can I ask you a question? What's the role you knocked out of the park? As far as acting, what's the role you knocked out of the park?
Mistress Quickly in, so it wasn't like the straight one Shakespeare play. It was part of this one with Mistress Quickly, another part of that one with Mistress Quickly. And so I had a sort of journey through the Mistress Quicklies.
Okay, I love
so I had sort of funny to emotional.
So one thing I like about Mistress Quickly is kind of a counterpart to what we were just talking about with David, which is like really sweet on the surface, but not always underneath, right? This is what I like. I like the fearsome, crazy grandmother. You don't need Mediterranean there. I like fearsome, crazy grandmother. I'm cutting down words because there's a lot of words. And so I get like, oh, there's so many words. And a lot of the words are saying the same thing. And so I feel like we can take some of those words out of there. So one of the things, like, what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to take a few of these words to the thesaurus, if you didn't already, and see if there's a better word, a word that's sort of right. And like worldly wise is definitely Mistress Quickly. Wise, that humorous, wise, a little cuckoo, like a little cuckoo, a little crazy. There's a lot of solidly dependable and committed and that going on here. So I'm wondering if, I love the word gritty. I'm wondering if like solidly committed is more about you than the characters that you play. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm just asking. So because I like this kind of little bit of a kooky grandmother thing, like a little bit of this kooky one that's a little worldly, that's even a little magical, like a little bit of like twinkle in the eye, a little bit of like, has a little bit of a secret, right? Like, because you have a lot of that in here. So
Sort
I'm
of
wondering
slightly
if that's,
mystical,
yeah.
a free spirit.
So, yeah. So Mistress Quickly is a little mystical, right? She's a little mystical. She's got a little spark in her eye. She's got a little bit of cleverness, right? A little bit of like otherworldly, you said. Like, I think that's the stuff you should pull out and leave the other by the wayside for now.
Okay. What was kind of worrying me about that I had so much was I couldn't, it was the noun, the gender noun that I couldn't quite pin down was the one that I should choose.
Yeah. And this is just an exercise. Like sometimes like we'll do this exercise with everyone. And then all of a sudden we'll be like, oh, you're the adorable bully, or you're the badass, right? Or, and a couple of you guys that I shared under your thing, I gave you 2 words that I thought were really the standout. You could just use those 2 words. You could just use 1 word, because I like this kind of magical kind of, witchy kind of from another world type, like she's like, she's a little bit like, we see her in we see her in comedy. We see her in like Lord of the Rings. We see her in the Harry Potter stuff. We see her in the magical world, right? And until they cut out one of my old clients played in the Harry Potter that was on Broadway before COVID, and then they changed it. You know, she played the older woman, like the teacher, and you know, like all the characters that were the older woman. And she definitely has that going on. She has that kind of like spark in her eye, a little magical, a little like she can play a little Fruit Loopy sometimes, a little ditzy, a little like clever. You know, and I feel like that's all in there in your description. So I feel like that's what needs to come to the surface. And the other stuff for now, just put it in the back room.
Right.
And see if you can get that going more. Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
I like witch. I am a witch.
Well, yeah. So witch, like that's your world. Like I feel like the more that you can hold up that magical witchness, right? The better, right? And so a lot of times when I'm doing branding work with people, I'm just trying to like, oh, that seems to be coming up a lot. That comes up a lot. Get rid of everything else and let's just take those and see if there's a better word there. Then those are the words that we take to the thesaurus.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Lovely.
Keela.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Keila, is she here, Keila? Keila, are you here? She might not be. Is Nikki with Nikki here? Okay. So if you guys are watching this video, please come tomorrow so I can talk to you. Okay, let me just call on a couple people that have not been up to the mic yet. So Ruth, I see you. Come on down. What you have your hand up. So how can I help you today?
Hi.
Hi.
I was just a bit of curious if it's a good idea to use one of these elements you talked about in the ident when doing the self-tape.
In the slate when doing a self-tape?
Yeah.
Oh. Nah, I don't think, I mean, maybe, I don't think it's necessary, but it can read on how you say your name. And, you know, whatever they've asked you to say, your height, your name, your agency, if you're vaccinated, whatever they're asking you to say in the slate, you can use it in how you say that. I also think, let me tell you how else it can really tell you. Is that, so, okay, I'll tell you guys a story. This is a good story that will help you. So years ago, I had an audition for an HBO commercial, and the commercial was for Def Comedy Jam. And the premise of the commercial was, it was a super white couple with their super white daughter and her super white new boyfriend. And they were sitting down and they were having tea. They were Americans. They were having tea, and the boyfriend, the new boyfriend, started telling a joke that Chris Rock had told on Comedy Def Jam. And the punchline was about having bestiality sex with a goat. And the mother, you could just see the mother, you know, she has the tea and the saucer starts to shake and her little lip curls up, you know, and she's listening to this joke and she's like, you know, like freaking out, right? So I'm reading the script, I'm at the audition spot. And, you know, I know when you go audition for a commercial, especially, or even like a co-star in a TV show, you know, say it's just the secretary that comes in and says, Mr. Rogers, you know, your next appointment is here. Maybe that's your only line. You bring your personality to that line, your brand to that line. That's where a brand can really help you. So I'm like looking at this part and, you know, I'm that kind of person that would be like, what'd you say? I mean, that's me. You know, I don't really play that. Well, I have a really, really good friend named Kelly. Kelly has a little heart-shaped face and a little blonde hair. She looks like Betty Boop, right? With blonde hair. And the thing that she does better than everyone else is that kind of like, you know, the judgy with the lips pursed, the whole thing. Like that's her thing. So I'm sitting in this audition, you guys, and I'm like, well, this isn't my part. This is Kelly's part. And all of a sudden, who walks in to the audition? Kelly. Kelly walks into the audition, and I just stood up. I handed her the script. I'm like, this is your part. She went in, she auditioned, and she booked it. Right? So, like, the thing is, like, when we used to go in the room, you have your audition friends. You know who the people are that you're going to see at your different auditions. And you know the strengths that those people have, and you know your own strength. The more that you know, because when you walk into a room with Oscar nominated actors that I have done, and people that were leads in TV shows, you can talk yourself off your game really easy. But if you're really clear about who you are and the choices you make and how you're different than everyone in that room, it's way easier to be in that room with those people. And it's way easier to book. Okay, so just be really, really, really clear about who you be, and it will come across in the audition. So you don't really need to say it, you just need to wear it. Okay, Indra, hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Yes, my question regarding the pitch is, do we have to, I believe it was all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things that I counted, unless I'm wrong. Do we have to use all 5, or
No.
can we use just one?
No, you don't even have to use any of them. If you want to get creative with what I said, they were all just ideas of things that could be in a pitch. I want you to develop your own pitch. And these are just things that you can try, but no, they do not all need to be in the pitch.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Hey, Maud, what's going on?
Hi, so I have a question because I don't know if you can remember, but I emailed you a few weeks ago about me reaching out to someone and that person actually reading my email, but I have not gotten a response. Is this a good way to like send that pitch to this person, or is it like it's gonna be too much?
No, it's never too much. No,
Too much me.
No, not at all. Say, hey, a few weeks ago, I sent you an email and I just wanted to come back on you and say, I'm really interested in your project. Again, my name is Maud Arts. I live in the Netherlands, and this is what I do better than everyone else. And I would love a chance to audition for your project.
Yes.
So that would be something that I might say.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Yes, Cleopatra.
Hi, good evening, everyone. Yeah, my question is, earlier you were saying something about if you get a role, you can, and you don't feel the role is something that you can just easily say, well, this is not really me, and you can pass on it or something, or maybe, but I like all the roles I've taken are completely out of character for me. And those are the roles that people seem to like, and something that I would never do in real life. I seem to be better at it when I act it out. So when I get roles like that, why, I'm not, for example, one of the roles I played some years ago was I was a bitchy, cantankerous human being who thought everybody else was beneath her and was like, she had affairs with other men, even though she was a preacher's wife and she was a preacher. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would never do that, but I actually got an award for that, even though it was out of my character. So if I see a role like that, should I? I can't say no to it because I seem to be good at it, even though it's not me.
Okay, well, all right. So what you're saying is what I'm good at are these kind of roles. I'm not that in real life. Yeah, of course. Okay. You're a nice person, but you tend to play bitchy people. That's what you're selling, right? Like you're not, I mean, there's a part of you that has some of you that in you though. So you can find that, we're diamonds. We as humans are diamonds. What I'm helping you to find is what's the facet of the diamond that you need to polish and put out there. So there's something inside of you that can really key in with that, right? It might not, it might be your voice, it might be your look, it might be so many things in your voice. I mean, like if you look at someone like who were we talking about yesterday? He died. Who was I talking about? I was talking about he's always bad, he's always evil. From Die Hard. What's his name? Someone fast.
Oh,
Bruce Willis?
Alan Rickman.
Alan Rickman. Thank you.
Oh,
Okay, so like if you look at Alan Rickman made a career of generally playing not nice people. Everyone said he's the nicest guy on set. I'm sure he's nice and he thinks of himself as nice, but he had a very hawk-like nose, right? He had the ability to do that voice that was really condescending and smarter than everyone. So there were a lot of elements that allowed him to play an evil guy, right? If you keep, right, like you got to key into what is your quickest path to cash, right? Like what is the quickest path to cash? What is the thing that you always get booked as? Because I will bet money on it that you don't like, there is a common denominator in everything that you've ever been cast as. I'll bet you, right? The things that you've really excelled at, there's a common denominator. There
Yeah.
always is. I can even tell you what the common denominator for Meryl Streep is. Meryl Streep's common denominator is that she plays someone that is slightly aloof, that is better than, that looks down on you. It's in every fucking role. It's even in Sophie's Choice when she's like, I have to choose one of my children. Like, I shouldn't have to go through this. It's there. It's there in everything she does. Right. So and then there's some roles where you found out when she was cast in Devil Wears Prada, you're like, oh my God, there's no one that can do that better. Right. Because that was her role. Right. But it's there in everything she's ever done. Right. We're trying to find that thing. We're trying to distill that down. And sometimes it'll take 27 years. Right. So we're just like going like, oh, because then it helps you to distinguish who you need to sell to and who's going to buy your product. All right. Okay. One last, and then we'll call it a day. Maddie. Hi, Maddie.
Hi. So basically, I was kind of in general wondering if there's anything else I can be doing. I am working on the defining sentence.
Yeah.
But also, like in addition to that, or like I'm studying. I'm in England, so I'm studying A levels. I'm studying film and drama, psychology as well. But like that's not linked to it. And I'm doing in an acting school. I'm doing drama classes and trying to do singing classes to improve that, so I've got a broader range of what I can do.
Is your teacher choosing your scenes for you, or are you choosing them?
Our teacher chooses them. Like it ranges between monologues or like classwork, which
Okay. So as you're doing this work, I want you to see what your teacher is choosing for you.
okay.
Okay, so a general acting teacher in the beginning of when they're teaching you, they're going to give you stuff that they're typing you.
Okay.
Every acting teacher is typing you. They're giving you a scene that they see and they think that you can do. And then once they see what your strengths are, if they're a good acting teacher, they're going to stop giving you your strengths and they're going to start giving you your weaknesses.
Okay. Yeah.
So like I studied with Terry Schreiber, right? He's probably Ed Norton was one of his famous students, right? So this is the kind of people he taught. And Terry Schreiber in the beginning gave me comedy. And then he saw very shortly that I could do that in my sleep. So then he started to give me stuff that would bring out my vulnerability. So pay attention to what your acting teachers are giving you, because it will also help you to begin to see, oh, okay, so these people are seeing me as this. And so pay attention to how people see you, because they're branding you. They're telling you, right? Like, you know, the very first Shakespeare class I took I went to 4-year acting school. The very first Shakespeare was Phoebe in As You Like It, which I went on to do 5 times, right? Like he came in, he's like, you're Phoebe, until I was Audrey, right? Like, so I am Phoebe, because Phoebe is the adorable bully. She's the one that's like, knows everything and knows nothing. Right? That's Phoebe. And I've played that character over and over and over again in my life. The woman that thinks she knows everything that knows nothing. Right? So pay attention to what they're giving you. I think that will help you to begin to formulate what you're going to sell and who you're going to sell to when you get out of school. Because the more you understand who's buying what you got, then the quicker you're going to work as an actor. So what they teach you in acting school is to get an agent. They drill that into you, right? So you guys are all out there looking for agents when you have no credits, nothing going on. You didn't go to RADA, you didn't go to Juilliard, and you're out there looking for an agent. When you're out there looking for an agent and you have nothing going on, no offense, the only agent you're going to find is another agent that has nothing going on. What I want you to do is get out of acting school and start to write letters to directors you want to work with, directors that are casting your kind of girl, producers that are casting your kind of, begin to build your relationships that will carry through for you for the rest of your life. They'll carry through for you for the rest of your life. Because, you know, I had John Guare, John Guare saw me in one of his plays and then wrote a play for me 10 years later. And I had a relationship with the Pulitzer Prize winning playwright, John Guare. I had a relationship with David Mamet. I had a relationship I met Tennessee Williams. Like, I have a relationship with people that writers and directors and producers that continue to use me, if they didn't die, to continue to use me throughout my career. Or cast me throughout my career. So that's what really matters. Your agents don't really matter in the long scheme of things. What really matters are your relationships to the people that you work with. So the more clear you are about the people that are going to most likely hire you, then you can begin to build those relationships. So even in acting school, you can begin to reach out to those people. And, you know, go see plays, you guys. Go watch movies. Go look at Sundance and Southwest and South by Southwest and Tribeca, and write down all of the filmmakers that are nominated this year. Because those are the next Steven Spielberg. That's the next Paul Thomas Anderson, right? Those are the people that you want to begin to get to know, right? I met with Reese yesterday and we talked about him taking a trip to America and going to a film festival. I have several of our clients that are going this next week to South by Southwest. Very smart, because you can go and watch panels and listen to people. But like you guys, you know, you guys in the UK can go down to Cannes and meet a shit ton of people, right? And have fun and get a little sun, right? So you know, it's not that far for you guys to go there. So that's somewhere where you could go, or just like a film festival in London, right? Try to get to as many events as you can. Go see some plays on the West End, you know, go experience and get to know other artists, especially directors, producers, and writers. Okay? Hope that helps. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. Oh, good. Romain said he's going to Cannes this year. I was just in Cannes this last summer. It's so beautiful there. I love the south of France. I'd like to live there. Let's all move there. Okay. Yay. Okay. So you guys do your pitch. Please join me tomorrow at 3. I will see you then. And if you're a client, please come. The content mastermind is tomorrow. And we have a very, very special, very big producer that's going to be a guest. So please join us. All right, you guys, I love you so much.
Thank you.
I'll see you guys
Bye-bye.
hopefully tomorrow. If not, I'll see you on Monday. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.